The quantum sensors at Luna Base registered the anomaly first, a ripple in space-time that started small but expanded exponentially, tearing open the fabric of reality 50,000 kilometers above Earth's surface. Dr. Sarah Chen watched the readings with growing concern as the anomaly stabilized into a perfect sphere of swirling darkness. "Multiple contacts emerging," announced Captain Miguel Rodriguez, his fingers dancing across the holographic display. "Size and energy signatures match nothing in our database." Through the observatory's reinforced windows, Sarah watched as massive ships emerged from the void. Their hulls seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, creating the impression of moving shadows against the star-filled backdrop of space. The vessels arranged themselves in a precise geometric pattern, and Sarah's scientific curiosity warred with her growing sense of dread. "Getting a transmission," Rodriguez reported. "It's being broadcast on all frequencies in perfect English." The voice that filled the command center was simultaneously beautiful and terrifying, a harmonic chorus that seemed to speak directly to their minds while echoing through the speakers. "People of Earth, we are the Centauri Concordat. Your civilization has been monitored since you first split the atom. Your potential for both creation and destruction has been noted. The time has come for your integration into the greater galactic community." Sarah exchanged glances with Admiral James Walker, who had just rushed into the command center. The Admiral's weathered face remained impassive, but Sarah could see the tension in his jaw. "Your species possesses resources we require," the voice continued. "Your system's asteroid belt contains concentrated deposits of quantum reactive elements essential to our civilization's survival. We offer you a choice: willing cooperation in exchange for limited access to our technology, or forced compliance. You have 14 Earth days to respond." The transmission ended, leaving behind a silence heavy with implications. Admiral Walker was the first to speak. "Dr. Chen, what's your initial assessment?" Sarah pulled up the sensor data she'd been collecting. "Their ships employ some form of quantum field manipulation we've never seen before. But there's something odd about their energy signatures. They're fluctuating in a regular pattern, almost like they're struggling to maintain stability," Rodriguez finished, pointing to his own readings. "Exactly," Sarah confirmed. "Whatever technology they're using, it's not operating at peak efficiency. They need those quantum reactive elements badly enough to risk first contact." Admiral Walker's eyes narrowed. A position of weakness disguised as strength. Classic tactical move. He turned to address the entire command staff. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have 14 days to turn their weakness into our advantage. Dr. Chen, I want you leading the research team. Captain Rodriguez, coordinate with Global Defense Forces. We're not giving up our solar system without a fight." The next 2 weeks passed in a blur of activity. While Earth's governments publicly debated the Concordat's offer, Sarah and her team worked around the clock in the secret facilities beneath Luna Base. The quantum fluctuations in the alien ship's energy fields had given her an idea, one that could either save humanity or doom them all. "The math checks out," she explained to Admiral Walker on the 13th day. "Their quantum field technology is more advanced than ours, but it's also more rigid. They've sacrificed adaptability for power. If we can generate a counter-resonance field tuned to exactly the right frequency, we could disrupt their ship systems," Walker finished. "But we'd need to get close enough to deploy it." Sarah smiled. "Not necessarily. We've modified our orbital defense platforms. When their ships return tomorrow, we'll be ready." The 14th day dawned with humanity holding its breath. The Concordat's ships reappeared exactly where they had before, their dark hulls somehow looking even more ominous. "We have considered your silence as contemplation," the harmonic voice announced. "What is your answer?" Admiral Walker stepped forward, his voice firm. "We have an answer for you. Humanity will not be subjugated. Not by you, not by anyone." "Then you choose extinction," the voice replied, its harmonics turning discordant. "So be it." The alien ships began to move, their formations spreading out to surround Earth. But Sarah was ready. At her signal, the modified defense platforms activated, generating quantum fields that rippled through space like waves in a pond. The effect was immediate and devastating. The Concordat ship's perfect formation dissolved as their quantum fields began to collapse. Several smaller vessels simply vanished, their quantum drives failing catastrophically. The larger ships struggled to maintain their position, their hulls visibly distorting as conflicting quantum fields tore at their structure. How? The harmonic voice returned, but now it was filled with confusion and fear. This technology should be beyond you. That's humanity's real resource, Admiral Walker replied. Not minerals or elements, but our ability to adapt and overcome. You should have studied us more carefully. The remaining Concordat ships retreated in disarray, their once imposing forms now struggling to maintain quantum coherence. As they disappeared into hastily generated wormholes, Sarah allowed herself to breathe again. "They'll be back," she said quietly. Admiral Walker nodded. "Yes, but next time we'll be ready. And they'll learn what happens when you underestimate humanity." As celebrations erupted across Earth, Sarah returned to her lab. The Concordat's attack had given them access to valuable data about alien quantum technology. Their victory today was just the beginning. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and she intended to ensure they would never again be seen as easy prey. In the depths of space, the quantum ripples from Earth's defense system continued to spread, carrying with them a message that would soon reach other alien civilizations. Humanity would not bow. Humanity would not break. And anyone who thought otherwise would learn that lesson the hard way. 3 months after the Concordat's retreat, the underground facilities of Project Prometheus hummed with activity. 2 kilometers beneath the Atacama Desert, Dr. Sarah Chen stood before a holographic representation of their latest quantum drive prototype. The device was beautiful in its complexity. Layers of exotic materials arranged in patterns that seemed to defy conventional physics. "The quantum resonance chamber is stable," she reported to the assembled team of international scientists and military personnel. "We've successfully replicated the Concordat's field generation technology, but with one crucial difference. Our version is adaptable." Admiral Walker studied the hologram with intense focus. "And you're certain this will work on a larger scale?" Sarah gestured, and the hologram expanded to show a massive vessel under construction in lunar orbit. "The Hyperion will be humanity's first true starship. We've incorporated everything we learned from the Concordat's attack. Their quantum technology is like a rigid crystal, powerful but brittle. Ours is more like a living cell, capable of adapting to new conditions." "How long until it's ready?" The question came from General Maria Santos of the South American Defense Coalition, her dark eyes reflecting the hologram's blue glow. "The prototype is ready for testing now," Sarah replied. "Full fleet deployment, 3 months, maybe 4. But the Concordat won't wait that long. Our deep space arrays have detected quantum disturbances at the edge of the solar system. They're gathering their forces." The meeting continued late into the night, but Sarah's mind was already racing ahead to the next phase. In her private lab, she reviewed the data from their latest quantum field experiments. The results were promising, but something was still missing, a key insight that danced just beyond her grasp. The answer came to her at 3 a.m. while she was staring at a cup of cold coffee. "It's not about matching their power," she muttered to herself. "It's about transcending it entirely." She rushed to the quantum mechanics lab, where a small team of researchers maintained a night shift. "We need to reconfigure the field generators," she announced, pulling up complex equations on the main display. "We've been trying to beat them at their own game, but what if we could change the rules?" Over the next few weeks, Project Prometheus evolved into something far beyond its original scope. The quantum drive wasn't just a means of propulsion. It was a way to manipulate the fundamental forces of reality itself. Each breakthrough brought new possibilities, and with them, new hope for humanity's survival. But time was running out. The quantum disturbances at the solar system's edge were growing stronger. Intelligence suggested the Concordat had called in reinforcements from across their empire. They wouldn't underestimate Earth again. In the lunar shipyards, the Hyperion neared completion. Its hull gleamed with a special metamaterial that could absorb and redirect energy, while its quantum core pulsed with possibilities that even Sarah hadn't fully explored. Sister ships, the Phoenix, the Chimera, and the Leviathan, were already under construction, each incorporating improvements based on the latest research. Admiral Walker stood with Sarah in the Hyperion's command center, watching as engineers ran final systems checks. "They'll be here within the week," he said quietly. "Are we ready?" Sarah studied the quantum field readouts, watching as the ship's systems synchronized in perfect harmony. "We're ready for something they've never seen before. The question is, are they ready for us?" The Admiral smiled grimly. "They think they're coming to crush a primitive species that got lucky once. Instead, they're going to meet humanity at its finest, innovative, adaptable, and impossible to subjugate." In high orbit, automated defense platforms maintained their vigilant watch, now enhanced with quantum field technology that could detect the slightest space-time disturbance. Earth's major cities had been equipped with shield generators that could withstand concentrated energy weapon attacks. But the real surprise waited in the Hyperion's quantum core. Sarah made one final adjustment to the ship's systems, then turned to Admiral Walker. "There's something else you should know," she said. "During our research, we discovered that the quantum fields can be used for more than just defense or propulsion. They can create points of quantum entanglement between distant locations. In theory, we could establish a network that would allow instantaneous communication and coordination across the entire solar system." In theory, Walker raised an eyebrow. "We haven't tested it at that scale yet. But if it works..." She let the implications hang in the air. The Admiral nodded slowly. "A tactical advantage they won't expect." "Well done, Doctor." As they prepared for the inevitable confrontation, Sarah couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and apprehension. Humanity had accomplished in months what might normally take decades, driven by the ultimate motivation: survival. But they hadn't just replicated alien technology. They had transformed it, improved it, made it uniquely their own. Deep in the quantum core, possibilities flickered like stars being born and dying in microseconds. The Hyperion wasn't just humanity's first starship. It was a testament to human ingenuity and determination. When the Concordat returned, they would find not a primitive species cowering in fear, but a civilization that had taken their technology and elevated it to new heights. The final countdown had begun. In shipyards and laboratories across the solar system, humanity prepared for a battle that would determine not just their survival, but their place in the galaxy. The quantum fields hummed with potential, waiting to reveal their full power when the enemy finally arrived. The quantum disturbance began at the edge of Neptune's orbit. This time, it wasn't just a ripple. It was a tidal wave of distorted space-time that made every sensor in the solar system scream in alarm. The Concordat had returned, and they had brought an armada. From the bridge of the Hyperion, Sarah Chen watched as hundreds of dark ships materialized against the starfield. Their formation was different this time, a three-dimensional lattice that seemed designed to channel and amplify their combined quantum fields. "They've learned," Admiral Walker observed grimly. "Multiple layers of overlapping quantum shields. They're not taking any chances." The Concordat's transmission came immediately, but this time it wasn't the harmonious chorus they remembered. This voice was cold, precise, and utterly alien. "Your resistance was impressive, but ultimately futile. Surrender now, and we will be merciful. Continue to resist, and we will reduce your civilization to its component atoms." Sarah exchanged a glance with Walker. Everything they had worked for came down to this moment. "Quantum core is stable," she reported. "Field generators at maximum efficiency. The network is online." Walker nodded and opened a channel to all Earth forces. "This is Admiral Walker. Execute Operation Prometheus. Across the solar system, Humanity's defense plan sprang into action. The Hyperion's quantum core pulsed, establishing instantaneous connections with its sister ships and the orbital defense platforms. Through the quantum entanglement network, every human vessel and installation became part of a single coordinated organism. The Concordat fleet advanced, their ships moving with perfect synchronization. Energy weapons charge, creating webs of deadly light between their vessels. But humanity struck first. From behind Jupiter's largest moon, the Phoenix emerged, its quantum fields modulated to an entirely new frequency. The alien ship's overlapping shields, designed to counter their previous tactics, proved useless against this new approach. The Phoenix's weapons weren't designed to destroy. They were designed to disrupt. Quantum fields collapsed across the Concordat's front line as the Phoenix's attack rippled through their formation. Ships spun out of control, their carefully maintained lattice beginning to break apart. Now, Walker commanded. The Hyperion and Chimera emerged from their hiding places in the asteroid belt, their quantum drives creating distortions that the Concordat's sensors couldn't penetrate. The Leviathan, concealed behind Earth's moon, added its power to the network. Sarah monitored the quantum field readings as the battle unfolded. Their adaptation rate is incredible, she noted. They're already trying to compensate for our disruption tactics. But that was exactly what they had planned for. As the Concordat ships adjusted their quantum fields, the human fleet shifted frequencies again, this time in perfect synchronization through the entanglement network. It was like a deadly dance, with humanity leading every step. The alien commander's voice returned, now tinged with something that might have been respect. How? This level of quantum manipulation should be impossible for your species. You made a fundamental mistake, Sarah replied over the channel. You judged us by your standards, by your limitations. Humanity doesn't accept limitations. We transcend them. The battle raged across the solar system, but it wasn't the kind of conflict the Concordat had expected. Instead of energy beams and kinetic weapons, the two sides fought with quantum fields and probability waves. Space itself seemed to twist and fold as reality became a weapon. The Hyperion's quantum core hummed as Sarah initiated the final phase of their plan. Admiral, the quantum resonance is reaching critical levels. If we're going to do this, it has to be now. Walker gave the order, and all 4 human ships activated their quantum cores at maximum power. The entanglement network channeled their combined energy into a single, massive quantum field that encompassed the entire battlefield. For a moment, everything stopped. The Concordat ships froze in space as their quantum fields were caught in the larger pattern. Then, like a symphony reaching its crescendo, the human fleet's quantum manipulation reached its peak. Reality itself seemed to shudder as the combined quantum fields created a cascade effect. The Concordat ships didn't explode or break apart. They simply found themselves existing in a pocket of space-time that no longer aligned with their quantum technology. What have you done? The alien commander demanded, their voice distorting as their ship's systems struggled to adapt. We've changed the rules of engagement, Sarah explained. Your quantum technology operates on fixed principles. Ours adapts and evolves. You can either retreat now, or we can demonstrate just how far we're willing to push these principles. The Concordat fleet hung in space, their perfect formation now in shambles. For several tense moments, no one moved. Then, one by one, the alien ships began to withdraw, their dark hulls disappearing into rapidly generated wormholes. As the last enemy ship vanished, a cheer went up across the human fleet. But Sarah and Walker remained focused on their displays. They'll be back, Sarah said quietly. This was just their first serious attempt. Next time, Walker finished, we'll be even more prepared. Humanity has proven itself on the defensive. I think it's time we show them what we can do when we take the fight to them. In the quantum core, possibilities continued to flicker and dance. The battle was won, but the war was far from over. Humanity had demonstrated its ability to defend itself. Now it was time to show the galaxy that Earth was more than just another primitive world to be conquered. It was time to take the next step into the cosmic arena. 6 months after repelling the Concordat's attack, humanity's first offensive fleet assembled in the Kuiper Belt. The Hyperion led the formation, its quantum core now enhanced with discoveries gleaned from studying the aftermath of their previous victory. 5 new vessels had joined the original 4, the Titans Orion, Artemis, Perseus, Atlas, and Helios, each incorporating improvements that would have seemed impossible just months ago. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at her station on the Hyperion's bridge, monitoring the quantum network that linked all 9 ships. "Final diagnostics complete," she reported. "The long-range entanglement network is stable. We'll maintain instantaneous communication even at interstellar distances." Admiral Walker nodded, his expression determined. "Status of the quantum mapping probe. It's already provided a detailed scan of Concordat space," Sarah replied, bringing up a holographic display. "Their quantum field signatures are distinctive. We've identified 27 major systems under their control. But here's the interesting part." She highlighted a particular region of space. "Their quantum fields aren't uniform. Some systems show signs of instability, almost like they're being maintained artificially. A weakness in their empire," Walker mused, "or something else." Before Sarah could respond, Captain Rodriguez interrupted from his tactical station. "Sir, we're detecting unusual quantum fluctuations from the probes we left in Concordat space. Their fleet movements suggest they're preparing for another attack on Earth." Walker's lips curved into a slight smile. "Then we strike first. All ships, prepare for quantum jump." The human fleet arranged itself in a new formation they had developed, the Mobius configuration. Instead of trying to maintain separate quantum fields, the ships linked their fields together in a complex pattern that grew stronger with distance. "Quantum drive spooling up," Sarah announced. "Remember, this is our first attempt at coordinated long-range quantum tunneling. The calculations suggest that we're about to make history," Walker finished. "One way or another. Execute jump sequence." Reality bent around the fleet as 9 quantum drives activated in perfect synchronization. The void between stars became a tunnel of possibility, and humanity took its first deliberate step into interstellar space. They emerged in orbit around a Concordat industrial world. The planet's surface was covered in vast complexes that pulsed with quantum energy, manufacturing centers for their advanced technology. In orbit, a defensive fleet twice the size of their own waited. But the Concordat wasn't prepared for what humanity had become. "Deploy quantum mines," Walker ordered. Thousands of tiny probes launched from the human ships, each carrying a miniaturized version of their quantum disruption technology. The devices scattered throughout the orbital space, creating a web of overlapping fields that turned the Concordat's own quantum technology against them. The alien fleet responded with a barrage of energy weapons, but the human ship's quantum fields adapted faster than they could target. The Mobius configuration allowed the fleet to function as a single entity, sharing power and adjusting defenses in real time. "Their quantum signature is changing," Sarah reported, studying the readings. "They're trying to match our frequency, but..." Her eyes widened. "Admiral, I'm detecting something unusual from the planet's surface. The quantum fluctuations we observed, they're not natural. They're coming from..." Her voice trailed off as a new signal cut through all communications channels. This one wasn't the harmonic chorus of the Concordat. It was different, ancient, and powerful. "Children of Earth," the voice resonated through quantum space itself. "You have exceeded all projections. Your adaptation rate is unprecedented." The Concordat fleet suddenly ceased fire, their ships freezing in space as if caught in an invisible grip. From the planet's surface, a massive structure began to rise, a crystalline pyramid that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. "What you face is not the Concordat," the voice continued. "It is a test, one that we have administered to countless species across countless millennia. Few have ever reached this stage. Fewer still have done so with such creativity, Sarah's instruments were going haywire as she tried to analyze the pyramid. "Admiral, that structure's quantum signature. It's unlike anything we've ever seen. It's not just manipulating quantum fields, it's generating them naturally. As if quantum mechanics were merely the surface of a much deeper reality." The voice finished. "You begin to understand. The Concordat is our instrument, designed to push promising species to evolve beyond their limitations. Those who succeed earn the right to know the truth about their universe." Walker stepped forward. "And what truth is that?" The pyramid pulsed, and suddenly every quantum display in the human fleet expanded with information that challenged their understanding of reality itself. Sarah gasped as she began to comprehend what she was seeing. "The universe is far stranger than you imagine," the voice explained. "What you call quantum mechanics is merely the first step toward understanding the true nature of reality. You have demonstrated the potential to take the next step, if you choose to accept it." Walker looked at Sarah, who was already diving deep into the new data. She nodded slowly, her eyes shining with the possibilities she saw. "We accept," Walker declared, "but on one condition. We do this as equals, not as subjects. Humanity has earned that right." 1 year after the revelation that changed humanity's understanding of the universe, the crystalline pyramid had been relocated to orbit between Earth and Mars. It served as both a testament to humanity's achievement and a gateway to possibilities beyond their wildest dreams. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the pyramid's central chamber, surrounded by displays that defied conventional physics. The space seemed to fold in on itself, existing in multiple dimensions simultaneously. What had once seemed like alien magic was now becoming comprehensible, though the learning curve remained steep. "The quantum entanglement network is evolving," she reported to Admiral Walker, who stood beside her. "It's not just connecting our ships anymore. It's beginning to interface with consciousness itself." Walker nodded, having grown accustomed to such remarkable statements. "The mentors say this is just the beginning. Have you reviewed the historical data they provided?" Sarah brought up a holographic display that showed thousands of civilizations across millions of years. "We're not the first to pass their test, but we are among the fastest to adapt. Most species took decades to develop what we achieved in months. The mentors believe it has something to do with our particular blend of creativity and determination. Or desperation," Walker added with a slight smile. "Nothing motivates innovation like survival." Their conversation was interrupted by a new presence, not physical, but a quantum resonance that manifested as pure thought. The mentor's consciousness joined them in the chamber. "Your progress continues to impress," the ancient being communicated. "You have already begun to grasp concepts that many species take centuries to understand." Sarah gestured to a complex equation floating in the air. "The relationship between quantum mechanics and consciousness. It's not just theoretical, is it? The universe itself is aware." "In ways you are only beginning to comprehend," the mentor confirmed. "The Concordat was designed to push species toward this understanding. Those who could adapt to quantum warfare were demonstrating their readiness to grasp deeper truths." Walker crossed his arms. "A dangerous game. Many species must have failed." "Many did," the mentor acknowledged. "But those who succeeded, like humanity, proved themselves ready for the next stage of cosmic evolution." Sarah manipulated the quantum fields around them, creating a miniature model of the galaxy. Points of light indicated other civilizations that had passed the test, forming a vast network of advanced species. "We're not alone in this journey," she observed. "No," the mentor agreed. "And now you face a choice. Will humanity join the greater community of awakened species, or will you forge your own path?" Walker and Sarah exchanged glances. They had discussed this moment extensively with Earth's leadership. The answer was unanimous. "Both," Walker declared. "We'll join your community, learn from your wisdom, but maintain our independence. Humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to find new ways forward." The mentor's consciousness rippled with something akin to approval. "An interesting choice, Most species choose one path or the other. Then they're limiting themselves, Sarah said. Why choose when you can synthesize? Our experience with the Concordat taught us that adaptation isn't just about surviving. It's about transcending limitations entirely. She demonstrated by altering the quantum fields again, showing how human innovations had already begun to influence the fundamental technologies they had inherited. The quantum network was evolving in ways even the mentors hadn't predicted, incorporating elements of human creativity and intuition. Look at what we've achieved in just 1 year, she continued. We've adapted your quantum technology, but we're also transforming it. The network isn't just a communication system anymore. It's becoming a bridge between mind and matter, thought and reality. The mentor's presence shifted, focusing on the changes humanity had introduced. Yes, we see it now. You're not simply using the tools we provided. You're reimagining them entirely. This is why you were chosen. Walker stepped forward. We understand the responsibility that comes with this knowledge. Humanity won't abuse it. No, the mentor agreed. You will transform it, as you transform everything you touch. Perhaps this is what the universe has been waiting for. A species that doesn't simply accept or reject, but synthesizes and evolves. Sarah turned to the vast display of galactic civilization. So what comes next? The answer came not from the mentor, but from the quantum fields themselves, resonating with possibilities that stretched into infinity. The universe was vast. Consciousness was expanding, and humanity had taken its first steps into a reality where the only limits were those of imagination itself. What comes next, Walker said quietly, is up to us. As if in response, the quantum network pulsed with new connections, linking Earth to civilizations across the galaxy. Humanity had not just survived its trial by fire. It had emerged transformed, ready to take its place among the stars not as conquerors or subjects, but as innovators and pioneers. The Concordat's challenge had been meant to test humanity's worth. Instead, it had revealed humanity's true nature, a species that didn't just overcome obstacles, but transformed them into opportunities. As the quantum fields danced with possibility, one thing became clear: humanity's greatest journey was just beginning.